I was probably like 15 years old. I don't think I had a license yet. And I had the cassette, man. I remember the cassette because A and B, I knew where they started. The artwork, man, just pulling out that cassette was just sick, man. The artwork was dope. The CD was also pretty dope. But yeah, this hit like no other, man. Back then, I was just like going to the record stores and like looking at the tapes, you know, because you remember they were stacked. And I would just look for that Ruthless Records icon, you know. And once I saw it, I would just grab it and be like, this is what I want. And that's how I found out that Frost was on Ruthless Records. Because there was no internet or nothing, man. So, you know, I was just looking at the tapes. I saw the Ruthless Records icon, and then I grabbed it. And I was like, Frost, I'll check it out. It was dope, man. What is up? Welcome back to another episode of the Gangsta Rap Odyssey. And as you can see from the title today, it is the making of a classic record. Smile Now, Die Later, Kid Frost. Who can argue with that, man? 1996? No, this was 1995. Oh, man. So the album came out on Ruthless Records. This was Frost's first record on the label. And Eazy-E hand-selected Frost himself to come on to the Ruthless, the realms of Ruthless, and it was a dope trip. You know, sometimes Frost talks about Eazy on interviews and whatever, but you know, unfortunately, they didn't get to really collaborate on any songs. It's too bad, but needless to say, this record has Ruthless all over. It has their fingerprints everywhere, from Hutch to Julio G and you know, Above the Law. It's just so dope. So I thought we would talk about it. Like this is a 5-star record, man. That means it's perfect. It's flawless. It's a dope ass record, and it's worthy of being talked about. So we're gonna go through track by track. You know, we'll talk about each track, and then, you know, we'll also, you know, we'll get into the good, the bad, the ugly, because it's a perfect, you know, 10 out of 10 or 5-star record doesn't mean that there ain't ugly to talk about. We're going to do it, man, the bad and the ugly. But first, commercial. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you like us, you know, give us a subscribe, support us there. Check out our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We're at throwback88.com. We got videos there. We got the archives of all of our podcasts. Check us out, man. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and we'll keep at this, man. All right, so the first track we got, East Side Rendezvous, man. It's a bumping beat, man. It's a day in the life. You know, the hook is so sweet. The homie ALT is always welcome. And I love the way Frost starts off his records. A lot of times it's just him like talking about, you know, a cool summer day out in LA, man. And this is no different, man. This is an East Side Rendezvous. Da-na-na-na. You know, check it out, check it out.
Give me a pair of your 50-30. Cascades, Cortez in a jet black hoodie, headed back home and got G'd up for it's an East Side Rendezvous. Yeah.
Come on and roll with me on that late night rendezvous. Come on and roll with me like emojis do. Come on and roll with me on that late night rendezvous.
The producer on East Side Rendezvous, you know, this has ALT, O Genius, and who is that? Deanne Gordon. That must be the lady on the hook. Producer is Monte Carlo. It's a dope song, man. Most of the tracks on this album are done by Tony G, Julio, and of course Hutch, Cold187. So, man, this is a ruthless joint for real. You know, let's get into the next track, La Familia.
Cause when I do it all day. And then I come back again with another stack to spin on all my friends. And now I get my gangster roll on, brand new clothes on, and so on and so on. And now I need to beat the flow on. Here it is right here, Frost, man, go on. Yeah, smooth going out with a bang, cause it ain't nothing but a family thing, yeah. It's a family affair. It's a family affair.
this one right here is one of those songs where Kid Frost goes back to his roots. You know, you gotta love that, man. And it's an oldie remix. Frost is like the king of oldie remixes. He's got a whole, well, I think he's got like 3 albums just dedicated to oldies. If anybody can do it, Kid Frost can. This track is dope. It goes back to, you know, the La Raza, you know, and all that. And I think it's something to be proud of. So you don't have to be Mexican to enjoy this track, man. It's just dope, man. So La Familia, this is a great way for us to be reminded, or his fans to be reminded, that just because Frost switched labels at this point or is under direction of Ruthless doesn't mean that he forgot where he came from. It's a great track, man. He did not forget where he came from. La Familia. It's a great number 2 track, man. So I love it. And then the next track here, man, we got You Ain't Right. This is one of the best tracks on this album. I mean, they're all good, but this one right here, man, it's like a 5.5 star track, man. You Ain't Right.
No good. I'm looking at the older fools in my hood. I wanna walk like them. I wanna talk like
Step into the shoes of a thug, man. Just, you know, just a guy running the streets. You know, it's from his point of view, maybe the point of view of the less fortunate even. The hook is so nice. You know, we got a BG sample in there somewhere. Like, how did they do that, man? I thought this came out before Real Brothers. So, you know, makes you wonder, makes you think, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to look at the dates, but I thought this came out before Real Brothers. And they picked up that little sample of "Now I Let the Homies Rest in Peace," you know? But I love the hook, man. I don't know if it was sampled from something else. Maybe the wiki has something on here. Let me see. Nah, but the beat was done by Richard Rico Prius. Yeah, I never heard of him. The track before that, La Familia, was Tony G and Julio G, by the way. So, you know, You Ain't Right. And then the next track here, we got Mari, featuring Rick James.
Named Marty, and every single night it's like me and her we party. Let me drop the 411 for those who claim they know me. I'm not the jealous type, for Asha's mind.
This track is just like the other track, You Ain't Right, man. I just feel like it's one of those soul tracks, man, from like the 70s, redone, repackaged for Frost. I don't know when Mary Jane came out from Rick James, but Mary Jane. Let's see if I can find out real quick. Mary Jane comes out in 1978. So yeah, man, I nailed it. This is right about then, you know, right in the 70s. Another oldie track. You gotta love this one, man. This is probably one of my favorite tracks on here. Maybe my favorite. I don't know, man. You Ain't Right. Marty. I don't know. Rick James is on that ass for this one. It's another dope solo by Frost. Mary Jane, man. You can't go wrong with it. I love it. All right, so you know, then we got the next track, Nothing But Love for the Hood. You know, this is just more of that, you know, step into the shoes of Frost here, you know, more storytelling, but like that real life storytelling, like a vivid picture of the hood. The detail that he just has in this track is dope, man. The writing that Frost does is pretty underrated. I know we use that word a lot, underrated, but the way that Frost does it is almost like he's telling these stories of guys that don't have the opportunity to tell these stories, or that they'll never be heard, you know, because they're right there in the hood, you know, in the Latino hood. And maybe it's not just a Latino hood thing. It's, you know, a lot of, you could relate to it no matter what race you are. You go through the same thing of family and deaths of little kids and things like that. But it's a cool track, man. This is another Tony G beat, and it's a great track. It's really smoothing out this album. It's starting off real smooth.
Nothing new. So I'ma tell the truth about the hood on this record for you. Now check it. If I could make this world perfect, I would, but I can't, and I still got nothing but love for the hood.
And the same thing could be said about Rest in Peace. Another Tony and Julio G beat, just more vivid picture painting of the hood. This is, learning, like, it's crazy, man. I'm like maybe 16 when this comes out, man. I'm just learning about death. And this is one of the first, songs that really hit me, about death, because at 16, you're like immortal, right? So good on Frost for bringing this out. More storytelling, vivid storytelling of these tales from the hood that just can't be told. But Frost brings it to the light. That's what he's good at, man. That's the kind of storytelling he does.
GSA, my little homie turned in his life for me, and now my feelings inside are gonna get released. So please, rest in peace on the slow ride, on the gangsta high. To all of my homeboys, rest in peace. Let me take you on a slow ride, on the gangsta high. To all of my homeboys, rest in peace.
The beat is just perfect for this song, man. The vivid storytelling is just out of this world. What do you guys think about this song, man? Rest in Peace. Have you guys ever played this at a funeral or just listened to it and poured one out for the homie, man? It's one of those deep tracks, man. It really hits home. Then we're going to move right on to La Raza Part 2, bringing it back to the culture. I never heard the La Raza Part 1, but I bet it's probably on the East Side Story or something. I'll have to check it out. But this one is cool, man. This one, there was an OG mix before this one came out, before La Raza Part 2 remix. I don't know. Well, let's check it out.
It's all going down this year. My lax in gear and I wiped off my tattoo tears. A lot of things have changed since 90. I got a lot more homeboys and Gente behind me. This time it just can't stop me. There's no telling what might happen when your kids get a copy of the 96 remix. We in the Gangsta, I did it for the Raza, cause it's all brand new, it's updated. You see my Cherokees are lacking, my spokes are gold plated. I'm hitting side to side, there's a lump in my throat, but I just can't swallow my brown pride. I'm like a nigga with a snake in his mouth, and a brown fist represents Frost in the house. Coming back.
All right, and here's the original.
You guys know what fucking idea what La Raza means. It's about our people out there, working, surviving with pride and dignity. That's Raza.
It's all going down this year. My lax in gear and I wiped off my tattoo tears. A lot of things have changed since 90. I got a lot more homeboys and Gente behind me, and this time you just can't stop it. No telling what might happen when your kids get a copy of the 95 remix. We in the Gangsta, I did it for the Raza, because it's all brand new, it's updated. You see my Cherokees are lacking, my spokes are gold plated. I'm hitting side to side, there's a lump in my throat, but I just can't swallow my brown pride. I'm like a nigga with a snake in his mouth, and a brown fist represents Frost in the house. Coming back hard on the rap scene. It's all about the red, white, and green.
All right, so I don't know, man. For some reason, I think that the remix it's grown on me. I like it better than the original now. Yeah, man. The whole track is like a project. So that's cool. La Raza Part 2, Tony G and Julio G, and I don't know who did the original Part 2. Let me know if you know. It sounds like it was probably Tony G and Julio G. I'm not sure why they even got rid of the original and put in the new one, but it is what it is. So, let's move on. Man. Now, if you have the cassette, Bam See Ya is the start of side B. It's also the start of some Hutch, man, like some real above the law shit right here. This song just screams Ruthless all over it, man. I love it, man. It's a dope beat by Hutch. The hook is crazy, isn't it? Bam, see ya, wouldn't wanna be ya. Blasting on fools like Pancho Villa. Like, did Hutch write that? He's crazy, man. He's dope.
Once again, it's something that the tubes don't salute. They said the deck had 5 aces, so I strapped on my covers and took 10 paces. I turned around, was the sound. Now there's a dead man laying on the ground. A notch in my gun, cause it's like this. And then I took a piss in the dead man's head. Bam, see ya, wouldn't wanna be ya. Blasting on fools like Pancho Villa. Bam, see ya, wouldn't wanna be ya. Blasting on fools like Pancho Villa. Kid Ross down up the 3 o'clock.
The beat is just ruthless, man. Ruthless in its top form. And probably the crown jewel of the record, man. What do you guys think, man? Is this the crown jewel of the record? Bam, see ya. And then we move on, and you could tell that we've got a change of scenery here now, man. It's getting hella gangsta now. Look at what I see, some back and forth with the homie ALT. It's a classic. What do we got? We got Dan Gordon again on the hook. Perfect, man. Tony G and Julio on the beat. I love it. And obviously this is a little bit more gangsta than side A was. And then, the next track, what we got, number 10, How Many Ways Can You Lose a Body, featuring Above the Law and O Genius. Like, damn, it's crazy. This is a gangsta-ass track. Hutch on the beat again, Cold187um, very underrated. He's at the top of his game right now on Ruthless Records. Like, there's nobody better. He's arguably fighting position to be the top producer there, Maybe he already is. I don't know, man. How many ways can you lose a body? Fucking crazy, man. The storytelling on there, it's just getting gangster.
Pulling out the chamber and coming through the hole, bitch. Impact, now your body twitch. Laying on the floor, bleeding from a hole. 9mm round, now I'm in control. Kid Frost at the top and I'ma grab his feet. Roll him in a sheet and wash the blood up off the street. Put him in the back of the black Cadillac. Something in the back went dump when I hit the train tracks. Fuck, I think he's still alive. Pull it to the side.
And then we're moving on to the same type of deal. We got Last Days featuring Above the Law and Cocaine. What? Same type of stuff, man. This is that Ruthless era joint. This is that stuff that we want from Ruthless. This is what you get when you get Above the Law and Frost, and you get this dope shit right here, man. It's fucking gangsta. Last Days, man. What are you gonna do, man? The telephone just chose at random.
If you only had 5 minutes to live, would you do some evil shit? Hell yeah. Or would you repent in the name of your motherfucking soul? Yo, Frost, what's up? Tell these motherfuckers your last confession.
The murders, I never really planned them. I just read through the telephone book, chose at random. Mrs. Jones, 215 South Mission, apartment 14, yo, my victim. I'm at home polishing.
It's crazy the way they're talking about just murder, man. And then this gets us off to the last track. You See Murder featuring the G-Spot G's, Tony G and Julio G. Ooh, man, this is hella gangsta. This is a hell of a way to leave this record, finish it off. Smile Now, Die Later. It's almost like side A was Smile Now and side B was Die Later. It's pretty, like, I don't know, it's like day and night, but just classic, man. They don't make tapes at all anymore, but tapes like that were cool. Like, you got a feeling from one side A, and then side B was like a totally different, like a sequel or just a totally different movie. It was crazy.
Assault and battery is done for a salary. If you talk shit, I'll turn the song into reality. The G-spot is here, I got proof.
Why's that?
Because there's blood on the walls of the sound booth. Here come the who to put your shit away. Tech nines in the attic, trap doors for the getaway.
I'm crashing through the door with my lack and drive. I'm running.
Let's talk about the record though. The album starts off with a smooth summer track. Cruising on to the G spot in Cali, a fine introduction to the West Coast lifestyle from these Mexicanos. And it doesn't take long for Frost to get right into his roots with that Raza influence. He's got the oldies, that shit that your parents liked. And Frost has always been the king of oldies for sure. And if you know, we love our oldies, man. Us Latinos, we love our oldies. So it was dope, man. I love the way it starts. But then he also comes out with that hard-hitting soul, that G-funk, that 70s, early 80s shit, whatever you want to call it. It's like those old party jams that your parents liked with Mary Jane and You Ain't Right, Marty, and simply the anthems of the hood, man, back in the day. And these are tracks that are just iconic. Some of the best tracks on Smile Now, Die Later. I imagine some of the best tracks that Frost ever made, in my opinion. I love these. They're iconic, man. And then we get to like the B-side tape. Frost reaches into the gangsta mentality with plenty of help from Above the Law, ALT, and his homies too, Some of the dopest beats you've ever heard come out of Ruthless Records. And, like Bam, see ya, just so creative and clever. It's like West Coast mixed with that Latino style, or maybe I should say it's Above the Law infused with Frost, with Latinos. It's crazy. It's just genius. Props to Hutch for making that track. Many consider that one to be the crown jewel of this record. It's a perfect blend of Hutch's mind with Frost's flow. It's a masterpiece, man. And, much of the record after that just is like Above the Law and Frost, Tony G and Julio also bring the gangsta. And I love that about this album, that is like side A was kind of smooth. Side B was like, gangsta. It just made for a perfect balance. Let's talk about the good, the bad, the ugly now, the good. This is the real deal for Ruthless Records. And you want to know what Ruthless was about, get this record and you'll know part of the story, man. The vision of Eazy-E. This album just oozes with Eazy's influence, all while giving Frost the keys to his own creativity. And I don't know how much Eazy heard from this record before he passed. I can only assume like a lot, maybe all of it. I don't know, man. For a lot of us, it was an introduction to his homie ALT, who would follow, if you followed him, then you followed him to the G Fellas and followed even more of his homies, Brown Side and all that good stuff, man. The Eazy bloodline is like just real, man. It's dope, man. Us Latinos, we love our Eazy-E for sure. And around this time, Cold187 was just leveling the fuck up in his production, man. I mean, really just elbowing his way to the top of the Ruthless Records dynasty of producers and making that defining sound for Ruthless Records, and who needed, all these other Ruthless cats on this record? Like, there was no Bone or even MC Ren or nothing, man. This was just Above the Law and Frost and his homies, man. It was gangsta shit. I loved it, man. So it kind of helped expand Ruthless Records. The bad of this record, I don't know if there's anything bad, really. There's not any skits. I mean, there's a couple intros to a song, but they're not long. At least they're not annoying either. I don't know, man. The artwork is sick, man. The CD was sick. The cover was sick. I remember the insert. Just all good shit, man. But the ugly. Let's get to the ugly part. Like Bone Thugs and Harmony, East 1999, they had the Crossroads song, and then they had the remix. And then if you wanted to find the Crossroads song, the CD with that one, it was like impossible. Like same with this one, if you want the OG Raza Part Two version, it's impossible to find it. It's not streaming anywhere. I don't know if there's legal issues or what, but it is what it is. I'm gonna call that the ugly though. What else is kind of ugly about it? well, let's be frank, man. There's no Eazy-E on it. It would have been cool to get an Eazy-E track. I mean, if you're on Ruthless, you want the star on there, right? Like Easy. Would have been cool to get some Ren or Bone Thugs too. So, I'm going to go ahead and say that's the ugly. But overall, man, this record is a classic. It's a 5-star record. Everybody should have it on their playlist. You should have it on your phone or whatever. Frost, Smile Now, Die Later, 1995, Ruthless Records. It's just an adventure into the hood from the eyes of Frost, who's really being the voice of those that don't have that voice. And you can tell it has heart. I love how he goes back to his roots, man. He brings out those party tracks your parents liked. He's like the king of doing oldies, man. The oldie samples are here. And then he gets super Gangsta on side B, super Ruthless Records, all while keeping his own identity. So this album, is a 5-star record. You gotta get it. It's another jewel from Ruthless Records. And it's probably not the only 5-star that they've ever come out with. Do yourself a favor and check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. What's your favorite song on this record, and what did you think the first time you heard it? I was just a kid. I loved it, and to this day, I still love this record. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit up our archive at throwback88.com. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more records done, and let me know what records you'd like me to check out. I love all these records, man. So, hey, thanks for checking us out. Peace.